What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday. You know, it's your man, Dame DNYDC. It's two mics up, and we back with another business corner. Now, today's business corner, you know, the guest that's joining me today is very special. And when I say special, you know, the journey of today's guest, she's been involved in the world of business, and really it's been nothing short of just full inspiration. Very inspiring. For 15 plus years, she's been a dedicated business owner, a consultant. She's helped to guide countless individuals and organizations, towards their entrepreneurial goals. Now that's huge. That covers a huge swath of our landscape, if you will. And really inspired, really, because, ladies and gentlemen, today's guest on the other mic, her name's Evelyn Johnson. She's more than just a CEO. And I've learned that, you know, very quickly from our conversation. We had a wonderful conversation before we got on the show. Um, but I hope that you'll find what I've found is just her passion and her dedication to advocate, for entrepreneurship, for others. And she's really a true beacon of inspiration and a catalyst for positive change. And here too, Mike, so that's what we're all about. We're all about that positivity. We always want to empower others and encourage others to go ahead and do great things. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring to the stage and to the other mic, the incomparable. I cannot say enough, Evelyn M. Johnson, who is the CEO in the beginning Incubator. And Evelyn, before we get started, I want to pause. I want to, and we'll edit this out. Go ahead and take you off your mic. You're muted right now. Yep, you're muted.
Here I am.
Okay, and there you go. So we'll just pick up right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the incomparable Evelyn M. Johnson, the CEO of in the beginning Incubator. Evelyn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Damon. Thank you. I am doing really good. Really excited to be here and share the journey, share information, share in the beginning
Hmm.
with your audience.
I
Let them
love
know
it.
we're here.
And that's what it's all about, because we want to make sure that everybody know that you're here, because you are bringing, like I said, just in the introduction, the wide berth and swath of reach that you've had in your career. And now here with in the beginning Incubator. Before we get to that though, Evelyn, I always like to start really at the core, because the core of all of this is you. And I have to ask, in our audience, we all want to know, who is Evelyn Johnson? Who is she, the person?
Well, she is a married woman,
Okay.
married 34 years.
All right.
Two wonderful children that have embarked on going on this journey with me. My daughter's I'm 33. My son is 23.
All right.
So I am a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a grandma. I'm a
All
still a
right.
daughter. So exactly, I'm still have both my parents here with me,
All
walking me
right.
through this journey.
Mm.
Literally, my mom earlier today and she's in Jersey. And she called and she said, I want to take your glasses off. Let me look at your eyes. Let me make sure you're not doing too much today. So, really happy to still have both my parents here to encourage and support my family. So, that's who I am. That really is the crust of who I am. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm a grandma and a daughter and cousins to many and all of that,
Love it. I
and
love it.
auntie and great auntie and all of that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, I feel the love when you speak. Of it sounds like family is that core connection really for you, or that foundation. It is important, in today's world, especially you starting out as a business owner and entrepreneur, to have that solid foundation. And I say that because what really leads me to ask then, you know, how did you, or where did the concept really come, for you Because it sounds like your family may have played a part in starting this journey. Okay, I see you nodding your
Mhm,
head. So
mhm,
where did
mhm.
that idea and concept come from to start in the beginning?
Well, I've been afforded the great opportunity to be primarily a stay-at-home mom.
Mm,
And I was talking to, well, let me just say, we have target groups, and in our target groups is Black women, returning citizens, um, uh,
mm,
individuals with disabilities, low
okay,
income individuals, the Native American community, and the
okay.
Hispanic community. So today I was meeting with one of my clients, and she had the same question. And I
Mm,
said, um, the reason why I do what I do is because the Lord gave me a very
okay,
clear and concise purpose
okay.
of I am first always, and that's why I led with a wife, and then a
Mm-hmm,
mother, and then a grandmother, because everything I do and everything I listen to and everything I hear while I'm
mm-hmm,
talking to our clients is in that perspective. And so
mm,
I think that that's one of the best qualities that I bring to the table, and I think that so as I listen with ears, I listen with wife ears, I listen with
wow.
just caring ears. I don't just
Right.
listen; I listen to help. Whatever I can do to help, even as a mother, I think that is my superpower, as I said earlier to the young lady, and so I believe that when I give advice and when I advise
Mm-hmm,
for business, that's the perspective I'm coming from, and that's the place where I start from.
mm,
I really care about how you do what you do and what you're doing, and to do it, and for you to finish this journey, and to help you finish your
wow.
journey.
And you mentioned such a large community, if you will, that you serve. Was that something that was intentional, or was that something that kind of as you began kind of formulating your business, these things or these community pieces kind of fell in line with your business plan or the idea of where you were going to go?
It's interesting that you ask, because most people have a problem that we don't identify Black men as one of our
Mm,
target groups.
mm-hmm.
And the very beginning, it was me. I'm a Black woman,
Right,
and I have a disability.
right.
And I wanted that to be acknowledged. I wanted that to be seen, and I wanted to bring more information and to open that space up. The other individuals in the other areas, I saw it as a greater need, as a great need, not a greater need, but just a
Mm-hmm.
great need to bring and to show them how to get into this business ecosystem and
Mm,
thrive. And
mm,
that was the purpose of it, because yes, Black men, it is very difficult for them, and
yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that that's not, but
Right.
there's a lot of programs and a lot of concepts that
Mm-hmm.
foster that support for that community. But
Mm,
even in when we were starting, and just when we were talking to, for instance, with one of potential attorneys,
okay.
and it got really crazy for me. My husband and my son came into the meeting with me, and
Mm,
he sat them on one side of the table, he sat me on the other side of the table. And I think he was under the impression that this was their, it was a very misogynist kind of meeting, let me just say
got
that.
you. Okay.
So
Okay.
he had an idea that he was going to tell me that, and he made the statement, why don't you highlight Black men? Why aren't they one of your
Mm,
target groups? And I said, they're just
mm,
not. They're not,
mm.
and I'm focused on helping women.
Right.
I relate more in that space. And
Understood.
he kept talking, and he kept talking, and he kept talking, and he literally turned to my husband and my son, made the statement, well, she's probably gonna have a problem with me saying this, like I wasn't even in the room.
What? What?
And said, I think she needs to be more focused and change the concept of the business and do certain things and this, that, and the other.
Wow.
And
Wow.
right, like I wasn't sitting there. And
Wow.
proud mama I was that day, because my son said, I think you have this misconstrued.
Yeah.
We're here to support my mom in her
Right.
idea.
Right.
We're not here to for you to play us against each other or any of that.
Wow.
This
Wow.
is a big attorney in the city of Richmond, major player. And
Wow.
my son said that. And he
I
said,
know
so,
that's right.
and he looked at me and said, Ma, if you're finished and if you don't have anything else to say,
Let's
we can
go.
go.
That's
We
right.
could go. And my husband and my son and I got up and we walked out and never to talk to that man again.
Wow. That's
So
wow. That's
and
crazy.
just that point, just what
Mm-hmm.
happened is proof that black women need to be at the table the way we need to
Of
be at the
course.
table.
Of course.
So that just reinforced the thought process why I chose black women as a target group, and then
Mm-hmm.
presenting us as one.
Right.
Presenting us as one.
That's just crazy. I mean, I have to call it how I hear it. Ignorance is still rampant. Um, no matter how you may feel as a, and look, I asked that question because I heard what you said, and part of the reason why I did ask that, uh, as a black man and a black male in America, why not? But what you just said is not for me to question once I hear and understand where this is moving. What my personal um, feelings or take on it, not to be discussed. I'm here to serve you as a client, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
like I said, ignorance is still rampant. It still runs. It's for some people, ignorance is still bliss. But I'm happy that it's good, to hear that your husband and your son, were at your side, and they were there riding not for you but with you, to make this journey happen. So I'm so happy to hear that. But I just felt I had to ask that question because someone else probably watching this or listening to this that would probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
So
We have new board members that are inquiring, and
mm,
why we don't why black men aren't the target, and they're not even eh, black individuals.
right,
They want to know, and
right,
I because that's what it is. And you weren't here at the beginning. You can hear
right,
the story from the beginning, but
right.
I fought to take this space, this to operate in this
In this
space,
space, yeah,
and I didn't know that it was going to be this type of fight, but it is the fight that I have to fight, and
hey,
to be in the room and to be validated for just what you're saying.
you say
The
right,
work, just the work. I'm
right.
not
Just
asking
the
you
work,
to validate anything else. I mean, it's just about our work and what we do.
yeah.
So yeah, and
I
that
love
was
it.
like I said, it was a fight at the very beginning, even within our board deciding and addressing and who we're going to have as target groups. I was comfortable saying these are the target groups that I want, but I brought
Yeah,
it to our board to
yeah,
discuss it,
yeah,
and they were open to it. But I tell you, everybody in the community, they're not open
yeah.
to
Hey,
that space.
and it's just not meant for them, and that and that's fine too. You got to get over that and move on. And when I say that, I mean the community. So, but you
Exactly.
mentioned something in what you said though, like in the beginning, right? Having these conversations and getting yourself situated, having to go, with this attorney and deal with some of these struggles. There's a mission and a vision that I always like. I like to ask about for most business owners. From where you started with that mission and vision, sounds like some of your challenges you've already laid out. But how has it changed from your inception to where you are now? And especially going through the pandemic and all of these other things, have you had to make any pivots with your mission and vision statement? And how does that look today? Is it any different from how when you started?
So we started
Hmm.
um, really during the pandemic,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
because my son was in his going into his, I believe, his junior year of college, and
Hmm.
that was, I think, in 2022, 2021, 22. He graduated, I believe, in 23. So I think he was going through his junior to senior year of college where he was home,
Okay.
and he was here, and I was deciding because I think probably in 2015 I was preparing for a business pitch, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had a seizure.
Oh
Two
wow.
days, 2 days before the pitch, didn't know what was
Mm,
going on.
wow.
Rushed to the hospital. Ended up in the hospital for 4 days. So of course, I missed the pitch. Missed everything, and was
Hmm.
diagnosed with MS. So that
Wow.
changed everything. That changed the whole trajectory of my life. I was a happy stay-at-home mom working the way I wanted to work then. I
Right.
worked I did grant writing classes and business plan writing classes for our county here, Chesterfield County Schools.
Okay.
And so when I wasn't doing that, I did it freelance as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you know, time marching on, and then the pandemic happened, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody was home, and I'm
Right.
thinking, I need to really decide what I'm going to do with business. I need to we 6 years later, I figured out MS, I figured out how to live with it, and now let me get my
Okay.
life back on course
Okay.
and be in business and helping people, because people were still asking, but I was barely doing anything.
Right.
So having MS made me realize that I have to figure out how I need to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son was home. My daughter at the time was working for the health department, state health department, and the health department was going through things, and I think she left the health department and was looking for something new. And I asked both of them, help me start
Mm.
this business. Give me
Okay.
1 year of your life and help
Mm-hmm.
me. I've helped
Wow.
you all, so now you help me. And that's what happened. We started
Wow.
ITB, and that was in 2022. Now, has it changed already? Yes.
Yeah, I'm
The
pretty sure.
focus
Yes.
has changed. The mission hasn't changed. Our mission
Mm-hmm.
is to still help our target groups to enter into the business ecosystem and thrive.
Okay.
We bring our folks into the process, and we work with them for 3 years. It's not a just you just work with them. We get you down, and we don't do we our expectation is for your business to grow under ITB.
Okay.
So much so that we entered into a grant agreement with Langston University, a HBCU in
All right.
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma. Right.
and
Yeah.
asked them to prove that this method works.
Oh, wow.
That
Okay.
if we do it this way, the process
Right.
that that we put forth to do it, that it and let them document and let them say
Wow.
and monitor this process and make sure that it works through the incubator process. And that was
Wow.
through Biden and Harris Build Back Better bill that was
Mm-hmm.
very much diminished, but they kept
Right.
a lot of pieces, and we got in there, squeaked through there, and got in with that
Wow.
capacity that they work with the HBCUs. And so, yeah, we came to the
That's
table, and I said,
awesome.
I need to prove what I'm doing, and it
Right.
actually works. And so, not just theory. So it's ever evolving, and that's the great part of having them as a
Yeah.
partner, because
Yes.
they're challenging us and saying, okay, well, how you think you're doing over here, because these numbers are not as, not that they're not good, but they're,
They're
how can
trying
we improve, how
how
can we
you
do.
can improve, right? And how you can help
Yeah,
stay ahead of the curve and stay
yeah,
at the forefront of things.
of the
That's
process, right.
that's
And
awesome.
by addressing, and it's specific to the disability community. It doesn't
Okay.
cover everybody, but it's specific to, but no one is no one, as I said, no one's checking for the disability community.
Right.
Nobody's asking those questions and
Mm-hmm.
how we enter into this process and thrive.
Wow.
They were the only community, the disability community was the
Mm-hmm.
only community that was not allowed to be a part of the PPP process. So
Wow,
they
that's
couldn't go
interesting.
for those loans.
Wow.
None of that money was available to them. And so,
It's crazy.
as a Black woman with a disability, I took it as a personal.
A personal assault, basically.
Yeah, we need
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how to fix this, and but also teach folks how to be in this process and
Yeah.
to build that generational wealth for your
Yeah.
families, just like everyone else does.
I love it. I mean, that is an amazing story, to that, to the growth and the evolving change of your business, in the come out of the pandemic or start in the pandemic, and then be able to, I mean, basically that's an explosion, if you will, for people who really don't understand, to have that behind your program, you know, and have that check from a legitimate, HBCU, if you will, really keeping you on your toes and
Yeah,
challenging you. And that's really what you want. And I don't think you could ask for more, because that's how you're able now to in turn give back, to those. who are coming into your program and that you're working with to move them through the program. I mean,
Exactly.
that is so huge. And I just wanted to emphasize that for anybody watching or listening. This is a huge move. And kudos to you, Evelyn, for being able to pioneer that and push that through. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short pause for the pause. I want to take a moment to highlight and thank our sponsors here at Two Mics Up, who allow us to sit here and have such amazing guests and conversations like Evelyn Johnson. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, stay with us and we'll be right back after this short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back fresh out the break. We're here today with the amazing Evelyn M. Johnson, CEO in the beginning Incubator. Now, Evelyn, we talked about, you and the process, if you will, or the start, the genesis of in the beginning. But you're very unique and what you do, and there's a whole nother aspect of what you do that we really haven't even talked about is business services. So please, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna ask you take a minute and just kind of walk us through what the uniqueness is with ITB and its business services to our audience.
Well, some of the greatest pieces of us that I'm starting to learn is the service capacity part. Everyone probably is familiar with probably incubator concepts. So it is a space that you could maybe rent out a low
Mm-hmm.
income or a process. I know a lot of people in this area use um, Regis and things of that nature to rent out
Right.
maybe an office space. So we took that piece and we expanded it and said we needed to add not only the low income rent, which they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be doing, they not only always have it, but we offer rent. We offer rental space to run your business and operate your business out of, but we also offer a variety of business services and a whole list. I can't even think of them all tonight. I mean, right now, but from anything from getting your business started with your tax
Mm-hmm.
ID number all the way to operations manuals, writing
Mm.
your business plan, marketing plan, whatever you need, whatever it
Right.
requires to run your business and
Right.
to scale.
Mm.
So when you start this year, you may not have employees. Therefore, you
Right.
don't need an employee manual. But
Right.
by next year, our goal is for you to grow. Then you need employees. So now you need an employee manual.
Manual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you need an operations manual. So how
Right.
you train people, how to everyone works together and things of that nature. So we walk through all of that. Grant writing.
Mm.
We do
Huge.
grant writing, grant research,
Mm-hmm.
because that's part of it. We don't every business is not a for profit. Some businesses are nonprofits, and
That's
but
right.
we walk you through the real reality of being a nonprofit. When we started, and I said we are part of a grant. We are part
Mm-hmm.
of a grant. I didn't want
Okay.
to get a grant for our business because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to get bogged down in the process of managing a grant, because a
Right.
lot of times you get in that space and you have to manage the grant more than you actually are helping the community that you're
Infinity. Yeah.
out here to serve. So I called the agency in Washington D.C. and I told them this is what I want, this is what I need, and if y'all could tell me and guide me, because I still do need the money, but I don't want all of the work and
Mm.
the bog
Mm.
us down not into it. So probably a month or two later, I get a telephone call, and they say, yeah, they're getting ready to put in a grant. If you can get involved and be a part of their grant, let them manage the
Yeah. Here's a
grant.
grant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let them
Yeah.
manage the grant
Yeah. Yeah.
and you do the work. And I said,
Right.
okay. And
Right.
that's what we did. That's how we got in with Langston. And so
Wow.
that was a real blessing. So I encourage folks through that process. And as I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, we do grant writing. I'm not, I explain. We have some great webinars. In one of our nonprofit webinars, I really walk you through, because everything that people think about grants is just free money. It's a whole lot of work
It's a lot of
involved with
work.
that money.
Yeah.
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 So I really try to and encourage them to really research that process before you get into it, and make sure that your heart is there, because it is a lot to manage in a grant.
Mm-hmm.
And you could get bogged down so
Down.
bad that you
Yeah.
lose your mission of your organization. And
And
so,
that's a
yeah,
great point. That's a great point because a lot of times, small business owners and entrepreneurs, or in the non-profit space, uh, they're looking at that dollar, um, but they forget in reading and applying that there's a level, or there's a certain requirement that's needed to manage that grant and have that access to that money. And
exactly.
you are so right. And I've heard the horror stories with people who have been basically tied down because they really didn't have the skill set, uh, really to manage it.
Managing
Uh,
the grant and doing the program.
and
Yeah.
doing the
Mm-hmm.
program. So
Mm-hmm.
it's splitting the hair, splitting the atom, and I'm sorry to say, a lot of us are not microbiologists or any type of thing in that nature where you have to manage it to that degree. So I'm glad that you shared that tidbit because that's really deep. But I also like to ask you with that in that conversation, I'm curious to know, now that you were smart enough to go the route, and apply through the university, and you're just doing the work. But what does a day, look like for you? When you I see you smiling already. What does a day look like for you, at ITB, just juggling hats and managing all the different things that's going on?
I'll just tell you today. So
Okay.
today we were closing out a business plan and website. And the way we close out a business plan, when you get a business plan from ITB, you get 3 copies. You get a
Okay.
bound copy ready to go straight to the financing company or the bank that you're working with and take it straight in. You
Mm,
also get a loose copy that is not bound and where you can make notes. You
okay.
also get an electronic Word document so that as you grow and progress through the year, and your business starts to flourish and go, you have the opportunity to make changes and move things around in your business plan. That's
Okay.
the first part that you get. You also get a video with us that says, walk you through, because I don't assume that you know how to do anything in your business except that one thing that you do in your business. Say if you're
Okay.
a hairstylist, then expect you to know what hairstylists do. I
Right.
don't expect you to know what a business plan really is and how to use it. So I
Right.
created a website. I mean a video walking you
Mm,
through every aspect of your business plan. This is your executive summary. This is what we're
mm,
talking about in this area. This is
okay.
what you need to repeat if someone's asking you about in this area. Make sure when you focus on this, you're telling a general idea about what your business is in this
It's a
space.
full debrief. You giving them the full debrief. Then you
Yes, yes.
basically.
And right, because the benefit of working with
Mm-hmm.
ITB is also working with myself and the rest of our team. Christian,
Mm-hmm.
my son, he does all our marketing and websites
Gotcha.
and things of that nature. So
Okay.
he doesn't normally develop content from your website. I
Mm,
create the content from your business plan to walk with
right.
your business to go with your
Okay.
website. So that's a
Okay.
different approach. And so
Right.
that everything is in the same language, because most
Yeah.
people get a business plan over here and a website built over
Yeah.
there, and
And
they may
sometimes
not
it
be
reads different. They
talking
don't
right.
jive. Yeah. They don't jive.
Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the benefits of working with our organization. We're all talking and everything is being built together. So when you get
Gotcha.
your business plan from us and when you get your website built with us, all of that is already factored in how all that
Right.
works together. And then
Right.
part of that video is walking you through how to utilize a website, because everybody
Mm-hmm.
thinks because I have social media that I know how to post and everything, and that's not the case.
Right.
Your
Right.
business needs to be your business and your personal needs to stay separate. And so
Right.
with the website, Christian sets up for social medias as well. This is all
Mm.
so much more than anybody gets for with anything. And this is
Right.
just one package that we
One
offer.
aspect. Yeah, that's just
And
one aspect.
yeah, just one aspect. And so then after that, you also get let me see, do you get it? Yeah, with the video. And then with that, the last piece you get is a 1 year operations plan.
Wow.
And
Wow,
your
that's awesome.
operations plan says this is what you should be doing the first 2 months, the first 3 months, what it walks you through a year of utilizing your business plan, your
Wow.
website, and all of that, and how to utilize it. Because
Wow.
again, as a mother,
Mm-hmm.
that's my mother hat on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need you to have all of these pieces in place. So
Place,
if
yeah. So
I'm
you can go
here or
out.
not,
Yep.
you know
You can
what
go out
to
here.
do.
Yeah.
And even when we're talking about the business plans and getting people to the specifics, if someone asks you about your business, and I always tell them, if someone asks you about your business, you better be able to tell them, and you be able
Okay.
to show them. Because
Exactly.
I've gone to the banks, the
Mm.
metropolitan business leagues. I've talked to the folks, and they know if you don't know your business plan.
Right.
They
Right.
know if you don't know your information about your business and you just had enough money to pay somebody to do
Right.
this,
Right.
and you
So
can
true.
get rejected for that. And I don't want you to be rejected for that. And plus, I want you to know. I
Yeah.
want you to
And
learn how to
yeah,
to know. So
the
again,
education is
that
power. That knowledge is power.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And so that's again, that's just one component. That is literally one
Wow.
component. So we had a family. Um, a wife is a therapist. She's a
Uh-huh.
mental health therapist, and the
Yep.
husband is a logistics. He's starting a logistics company. So they
Okay.
came in for two different. She came in for her monthly coaching call
Monthly. Uh-huh.
because
Okay.
yeah, because we do monthly coaching calls too.
Okay.
Because I need to know that you're doing what you're supposed to
You're
do,
supposed to
because
do.
I need to right because I need to put the fire under everybody that's part of the
Mm-hmm.
grant to
Right.
prove this works. So
Right.
they get a monthly coaching call from me. And so the wife was there for a coaching call because she's already more advanced with her process, and the
Mm.
husband was there to pick up his business plan and his website. So we were signing off on things and paperwork and doing all of that, and she was having a coaching call. And so coaching calls are very different.
Mm.
We're talking about where you are today, but we're also talking about what challenges you're having. And
And
even
you
though, yeah, because
trying to get over those
even,
obstacles and figure
yes,
out what's the
yes,
next step. Mm-hmm.
yes, because even though you are in even though she's a therapist, she still was like,
Still needs
well,
help.
but my husband is not
Yeah.
really doing, baby. We may have some
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
challenges in this area.
Yeah.
So as a mother and as a wife, again, I'm listening. And I said, well, don't forget, I know you are a therapist, but we provide therapy sessions for you
Mm.
if you need that.
That's written.
That's a basic in
That's
our
huge.
organization. Yeah,
That's
we
huge.
just because I saw for our family coming into this process, we needed to do some family therapy and to make sure that everybody's on the page, because my kids need to see me as CEO, not only as mom.
I know that's
And
right.
how does that process look? And just
Right.
because I'm telling you, it doesn't mean it's going to
Mm-hmm.
snap into place. How do I communicate that? How do they communicate it back to
Communicate it
me?
back to
So
you.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that was a need. So my daughter being in the health industry, she said, well, then we need to do something more. So we contracted with
Okay.
a male psyche therapist program
Therapist. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
a female
Female.
therapist
Okay.
team
Okay.
for all of our incubators. And you don't have to tell us any of anything. We just hear. If we
Right.
hear someone's having a problem,
But you have
we
a
just
service. You have a
we
service
just
for
yeah,
provide.
and I'll say yeah, and we'll just suggest. Let's recommend. Would you like to talk to somebody about that past us?
Mm.
Because I don't have enough time to spend that with
That's
you.
not even your.
But
That's not even in your bandwidth, really. Right. You
right,
want to be
right,
able to
it's
give
not
that to
right. But I want you to have it
have
because
that
I know you
access.
need it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I got it.
all we do is make the referral.
Mm.
We
Wow.
don't do anything with we have a referral form that they created for us to give to folks and to fill out and just send it over. And that's all we do. And we have incubators using it. That's unique. That's
That
different.
is huge. That is not only unique, that is huge. That is really a game changer, if you will. And this is why I love, again, I say I love doing this, because I hope anybody watching or listening, if listening to this or watching this, if you are in a space that one, you're really trying to get your business off the ground, and you come from one of these communities that are really marginalized, underserved, you know, you may really want to reach out to Evelyn and what she's doing with, in the beginning, because this just sounds like, and then you could probably go on and on and on and talk about all the different services, but just from listening to that, this is huge for anyone who does not have any knowledge, any business knowledge, any real operational knowledge. But some of us just have ideas, and
Mhm.
you really help them get it out, get it on paper. You actually help them go through processes, and it sounds like there's training, almost a hidden training. You're being trained, but you don't know you're being trained, but you think you're being trained, but you don't know so all of these things are really key aspects that you're tapping into and providing. And I just really hope, anyone in our audience, if this sounds like you or sounds like anyone that you may know, you really want to go ahead and get in contact with Evelyn. Because man, this sounds like you can't go wrong with this here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, even if it's a inquiry call, and find out what's really going down and figuring out, if this is something for you, make the call, reach out. Because I
Mhm.
mean, I wish this was around when I was first getting started, because a lot of times it's trial by error, and
Yeah.
you learn as you go. But I'm glad to be able to have this platform to share your story, Evelyn, today. And as we come around to the back end, time flies when you're having fun and really enjoying really good and great conversation. I just want to ask, before we close out, is there anything that you may want to share, with our audience, that maybe I didn't ask, or overlooked, or anything that you want to share before we close out, whether it be about you or anything that you have coming up with ITB in the near future?
Well, if you're in Richmond, we have a networking event. Our first networking event tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8:30, 720 Moorfield Park Drive, Suite 100, Richmond, Virginia 23236. That's one thing. May, June-ish time, we have our first business expo coming on. So
All right.
that'll be something new to be looking for. But understand this, this is one of our biggest things. We're not Richmond or Virginia locked. We have a
Okay.
lot of clients across the country. We have a
Wow.
lot of, because Langston in Oklahoma is a big partner. We deal with a lot of clients in Oklahoma, a lot of
Okay.
clients, and
All
we
right.
give the same level of care and pride with those folks as we do. Just like if I was sitting on a call with you, I could be sitting on a call with them for an
Yeah.
hour or two, just like if you're sitting in my office. We do the
Wow.
same things, and you could get the same thing from Charnay or Christian. The
Love
best thing about us is also our board. We have
it.
two great boards. We have a great advisory board. We have a great executive board, and they are taking a lot of the weight because they recognize I still do have MS, and
Mm.
so they help.
Yeah.
So folks have to, you have to get past the concept of I don't want to share my ideas
That's
with
right.
folks
That's
because
right.
I don't want them taking advantage of me and this that. Well, that's why they have NDAs,
That's
non-disclosure
right.
agreements
That's
that you
right.
make them sign,
That's right.
and you alleviate that process
That's
because
right.
you have things in you, you have greatness in you, and you need help.
Mm.
That was the thing that MS showed me, is that I need help, and my
Mm.
family stepped up. I was so glad for everyone. And my mom is on my board, 77
Wow.
years old. My
Wow.
family is deep in my process. Deep. One of my cousins is our accountant in North
Wow.
Carolina, not even in
Mm.
Virginia. Our clients call her to get work done. I
Love
use
it.
the resources that God gave me.
That's
I
right.
find other resources, but I utilize everybody and support as much of my family because again, this is about generational wealth, and I can't
Mm.
be selfish with any of it. It's about building
Ooh.
our
Mm.
family.
Mm. Mm.
And so how that looks is how it looks.
Whew. Well, look here, ladies and gentlemen. That was our closing monologue, because I have nothing else to say behind that. We're going to put a pin in it right there. Evelyn, I thank you so much for taking time out, sharing of yourself and your business. It's been a pleasure and an honor to sit here and talk with you today. Continued
Thank you.
success to you and all that you do in the near future.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity. I guess I'll give our 804-468-8141. That's our office number. In the beginning, co.com is our website. Go check us out. We're there. All of our information is everywhere. So thank you again for having me. And
My
I can't
pleasure.
wait till you get down to Richmond. I will be in DC area in May. I'm
Okay.
speaking at the grant. They have me
Okay.
speaking in Washington, DC.
Okay. Well,
So
we're gonna have to do something behind the scenes to make that connection work. We will make sure that we put your information in the show notes so our audience can reach out to you and find you.
great.
We will
Thank you.
definitely do that. And again, thank you so much,
And thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Another business corner in the books. I'm your man, Dame DNYDC, hosted Two Mics Up. You can follow me across all social media, IG, Facebook, and X now, at Dame DNYDC. Continue to follow the show, Two Mics Up. Social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. If you were here for the first time today, make sure you go ahead and go down to the bottom. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And before you walk out the door, don't forget to hit that bell so that you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from us here at Two Mics Up. And most important, we are in season 6, ladies and gentlemen. Season 6, Two Mics Up on the Mogul TV Global Network, the number one network for positive programming. Check us out on your Amazon or Roku TV device or online at www.themoguls, all one word, .tv. Check us out. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and set your schedules. Two Mics Up Business Corner, Fridays, 1 o'clock, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. And you know what? At this time of the show, I'm going to ask you to do a few things like we always do before we go. May you stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.